That's the project.
I really admire people like you know.
Wait, me? Why? I'm not anything special.
You weren't born into this lifestyle, but you managed to work your way to it.
All he did was sing.
Even so, getting into the industry is something that doesn't happen for a lot of people, let alone becoming famous.
I was just lucky my manager found me. I didn't really do anything.
Your skill sheet says you can play instruments, dance, read music?
I'm passionate about music. Don't people usually research and dabble in what they're passionate about? I didn't do anything unusual. Things just worked out in my favor, and now I'm doing what I love doing.
Well, I, for one, am glad they did. Maybe when we win, you could sing us a victory song. He ducked his head shyly.
Thanks. I'll see what I can do.
When we win, someone's cocky.
Not cocky, confident.
Confidence is good, very good.
It's a bit early to be too confident. We don't even have a secure lead yet.
But we will, if we all do our best.
I play to win. You want my best? You've got it.
I certainly don't mind doing my best in service of a beautiful lady.
I'll do what I can, and try not to get in the way.
Honestly, watching them at that moment, I couldn't help but feel that we could make a great team.
You are...
Rhuze. Nice to see you again.
Do you know Dart?
I told you, I just saved his life. Well, not only once.
I want to hear it from Dart's own mouth.
You explain. I don't understand.
She saved my life. Thanks to Rhuze, I was able to make it to Celis.
Then the person who saved you from the dragon was...
Yeah, it's her. Talking about being saved, I didn't thank you yet.
I don't need any thanks. I wanted to do it.
I see. But why are you here? It's too fishy to be a coincidence.
I followed you because I was fascinated by this artifact that you own. The Dragoon spirit of the red-eyed dragon.
This light is...
You deserve to rule dragons. This light shows the true evidence. From the time the Dragoon spirit starts to shine. You have to accept your fate as a Dragoon. Just like me.
Go! This is no pudding for a man! Go! Oko-san rejects it! It is a lie! A vicious falsification!
He's dancing around on a squished pudding. Hey, that's not very nice to the pudding. This is Oko-san. He doesn't really look it, but supposedly he's a fan-tailed pigeon. I think? Either way, he's hyper.
Go! Oko-san has suffered a deception most vile! A wretched betrayal!
Betrayal?
Go! We cannot let our new members be tainted by false idols! Provide new puddings immediately! Go! But this is no pudding! Ousted, scorned, and betrayed! Dragged into the street and shot by those he trusted most!
It's squished and filthy, but the thing under his feet looks like normal store-bought pudding. What's wrong with it? It's just pudding.
Go! Spare the jests, young lady! This is no laughing matter!
Oko-san used wing attack. It's super effective.
Go! They'll rue the day they crossed Oko-san! He'll have them flayed, hanged, shot at dawn he will! Go! Anyways, Hoko-san must now train to achieve true pudding. Nice meeting you. Farewell!
And he's gone. He's a good runner, but I don't know what pudding has to do with the track team.
Before I can open my door, however, I'm suddenly intercepted by Kenji, who's just exploded out of his own room in a flurry of papers.
Hey, we need to talk. These rooftop shenanigans of yours, man. They've got to stop.
What?
You're running around on the rooftop with the limbless wonders. They're women, man! You'll get yourself killed running around like that.
I don't follow. Kenji sighs and adjusts his glasses before what could be understood as an attempt at explaining himself patiently.
Look, we're friends, so I'm going to tell you this for your own good. But if I were to kill someone, I'd do it by throwing them off the roof and making it look like an accident. And if I've thought of it, you can be sure they've thought of it too. They're crafty. Almost as crafty as I am.
I see.
Good. I'm glad we had this chat. Loan me 500 yen.
Maybe if you increase the voltage? Nothing could go wrong with that.
Roger. Will do. Okay, I'm gonna go all the way to max voltage.
Max voltage? Hey! Wait, Clover! Aw, shit.
What? I think, Oh my god! The mannequin's head!
Oh man, that sounds like a fire alarm. Yeah, what the hell?
Fire detected. Fire detected. The emergency system will be activated. Evacuate the room immediately.
The control device for the electronic door lock. The green light is on.
Junpei, look at the light!
Yes, it's green! The emergency system has activated and disabled the lock! Now we can save Clover!
Junpei!
Come on, kid, jump! She's safe. Oh man, that smoke is some serious business. Time to close this door again, I think. Clover! Are you okay? Are you hurt? Damn, she's coughing so hard she can't even talk.
Of course I'm not alright! What the hell took you so long, you big jerk? I was almost dead!
Sorry. I was going as fast as I could.
You two can do this later. Right now, we need to get the hell out of here. That fire's not going to stay in that room forever.
And I found an angel's prayer. Yay!
That'll definitely be really helpful for battle. Of course, I won't be joining you guys, sadly.
I just hope that angel's prayer didn't belong to anyone.
Hey, where's my angel's prayer?
Run, 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 run!
Wait, that was actually someone else's angel's prayer?
I think so. I didn't know. No one's ever been bothered when I open boxes in their houses before. They just leave them there.
Well, technically that was in the inn.
So that makes all the difference, apparently.
It is. I mean, a house is someone's private property, while an inn is a place where travelers can come in to stay at when they visit a town or village, and you're not even listening to me.
Let's look at this box.
Halt, mortals! What business do you have here?
So, this is your bridge? At least we know you're not compensated.
I will not deign to speak to a female.
What the? Hey! Well, that's just rude. And sexist.
Do any of you males have business with me?
We were...
Oh, no you don't. Team meeting, now. I grabbed him and pulled him out of earshot of the troll. Looking back, I was glad to see that the others had followed obediently. He won't speak to me, but we need to negotiate.
That's what I was trying to...
No, you were trying to usurp me.
What? I can't do both?
Not every day I see you rushing along like this.
Ryota!
Usually you'd have been ready for an hour by now, Hyoko. Overslept?
This rock dove who thinks he can sass me is named Kawara Ryota. We've been friends a really long time. He can be a little mischievous, but he's responsible and kind.
Thanks for the backhanded compliment, asshole.
Breakfast was a little hard to catch today. I can't relax without red meat inside.
Living as a hunter-gatherer sounds tough. I will hunt down anything for you.
I might take you up on that offer when you grow some fucking hands like an actual civilized being.
Bing bong.
Oh,
bing,
the bell already? Come on, we need to hurry to class.
Bong, bing.
Like zoinks, Hyoko. No good being late on the first day.
And so Ryota pulled me along into the school.
But I don't have any hands.
Stop! The stone here!
Lynx looks over to Kid. His eyes light up as his hands loosen around my neck. Abandoning me, Lynx rushes over to her side.
It is, Lynx.
Kid reaches into her pocket. Lynx draws closer. Despite being drained of nearly all strength, Kid manages to whip her knife out, fiercely slashing at Lynx. Screaming viciously, Lynx falls back, cradling his mangled face. Blood starts to trickle down from between his fingers.
You!
Lynx staggers to his feet, keeping his right hand on the wound.
I will have such fun killing you all!
With as much power as she can muster, Kid kicks at Lynx, sweeping him off his feet. Spitting blood, Kid coughs a little, but still, a smile manages to come through her agony. Kid! I run over towards her, still feeling the burning grip on my neck. Lynx turns to Kid, staring at her with his cold, evil gaze.
Child, you shall beg for death soon enough. Every flavor of pain shall be yours. Prepare to join Luca!
Hearing this, Kid's eyes slowly open and catch sight of Lynx. A red-hot gaze burns in her eyes. Slowly, she rises to her feet. A shimmering light suddenly spurts out of the frozen flame. At the same time, a golden light bursts out of Kid's chest. Swirling around her, the light rises up, spreading outward in a glistening spiral.
What is this?
Lynx gasps. Kid's voice calls out from deep within the shower of light.
You will not win, Lynx!
She trembles, her eyes flowing with red tears.
As I fire off questions at Arashima-san, I'm reminded of my conversation with Nana.
It sounds a bit contrived to me. I feel like it's too cut and dry for a lunatic to have come up with it. Shugo, do you really think that Fukamizu-kun, who only lived for the present moment, would go insane in such a logical manner?
There's no way we'd be able to understand something like that. The way these crazy people think.
He mutters with evident distaste. Oh, but we do. She was guided into those actions.
What did you say?
Arashima-san eyes me suspiciously. Akao Ikuma, the person who knew how lonely and troubled she was, sowed the seeds of madness within her heart. He told her, you need a miracle from God. To achieve that, you must.
Are you saying that man was the one pulling all the strings behind Fukamizu?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. He just gave her an outlet to fulfill the paranoid delusions she had in the first place. No matter how simple an answer it might have been, it was more than enough for Fukamizu, who had been building up a world of delusions around herself for many years. When those twisted thoughts finally found an outlet, they exhibited themselves violently. Her actions eventually led to her own destruction.
This is a load of rubbish.
Arashima-san seems disgusted.
Who the hell would believe that horseshit?
After a little thought, Junpei decided that she had to be nervous about being locked up in such a small space alone with a boy. In a way, it was kinda cute. Very demure, you could say, he thought. Still, even though it wasn't exactly roomy in the elevator, they weren't going to be pressed up against one another. At least, they didn't have to be. Still, it was making her nervous. Junpei couldn't help but think how innocent she was.
Come on, let's go.
Again, he stepped toward the elevator. And again, he felt himself restrained.
I said, wait a minute!
Why?
Aren't you afraid, Jumpy?
Afraid of what?
Well, I've never, you know.
Never been in an elevator with a man alone before? Even so, she still seemed awfully alarmed.
I might get wet.
What?
Down there. I'd get soaking wet.
Well, I mean, of course you would. That's the way it works. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting soaking wet somewhere else.
That's true. You don't mind?
Mind what?
Getting wet.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd probably, like it.
Gosh, Jumpy, you're so brave!
Really? I mean, I kind of think any guy would do the same thing, you know? What happens, happens, right? If you get the chance, you've just gotta go for it. That's what a man's supposed to do, I guess.
You're so cool, Jumpy. I really admire you.
That doesn't really seem like the sort of thing you ought to admire someone for.
I'm really scared.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you've never done it before.
Yes. So, I don't think I'll be able to last very long. And then it'll be...
over?
Yes. I'll go to heaven.
Heaven?
It kind of feels like you're floating in space. And your mind gets all fuzzy, like when you pass out. At least, that's what I've heard from people who have experienced it.
Yes. I've heard that too. Although, I don't think the same thing happens to guys.
What?
Huh?
But it would happen to men too, wouldn't it? It would happen to anyone. Once it gets into your body, the same thing happens to everyone.
Well, I mean, usually it doesn't go inside the man. I mean, generally.
Yes, it does. Well, eventually it will. It's not like you really have a choice. Your body will force you to swallow some of it eventually.
What are you trying to do to me?
Nothing. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just saying that's what happens. It's a psychological reaction to what you're experiencing.
Was that really how it happened? It occurred to Junpei that perhaps that was how it worked. Perhaps he'd been mistaken all these years. Had he misunderstood life so gravely? The thought terrified him. Jun seemed to be entirely oblivious to Junpei's mounting confusion and terror.
Excuse me, anybody home? Nobody's here? Well, there's no one sleeping behind the curtains, and the doctor isn't here either. My hunter-gatherer instincts feel no presence, which is a really creepy thing for someone to say. There's no birdie here. Ryota, where the hell are you? No reply. The infirmary is empty. Weird. Did he go home already? I feel a little nervous poking around the empty room. Now that I think of it, I haven't been in here much before. Unlike Ryota, I'm perfectly healthy. Whoa, they've got all kinds of drugs in here. Ethyl par triphenylluciobenzene? What do these even do?
Care to find out?
Doctor?
If you're looking for the PCP, it's in the bottom drawer.
No, thank you. This partridge is Iwamine Shu, the school doctor. He's rather creepy in person. He has a bad reputation among the student body, and I don't know why he still works here. Everybody knows that even just talking to him can bring you down with aspergillus, pseudocosis, or even worse things. And I never even heard him come in the door. Ninja doctor?
You don't look like you have a good reason to be in here. Did you need something?
I heard Ryota Kuwara from 2-3 was supposed to be in here?
Him? He has already been helped.
Oh,
Are you going to buy some drugs or not?
that bitch, he left me here with this creepy-ass doctor. Sorry to bother you, creepy bird. I'll be going now.
Fine. But please remember, I am always here when you need your fix.
Why is that guy a teacher here?
It's true. I'm not lying. If you don't believe me, I'll tell you about it.
You don't have to.
I was in 8th grade at the time. Out of the blue, this boy from the next class over asked me out.
Here she goes. Oh my god.
He said I could handle making the plan. So I spent 3 days and 3 nights working on it. And the fruits of my labors, being our first date, I decided it would be best not to get too creative and just go see something.
See something?
Is there a brain in that thick head of yours? I said I wasn't getting creative. What do people usually go see on dates?
What do people usually go to see on dates? Obviously, there's only one answer. You went to see a movie, right?
Exactly. Theaters are nice and cool, and the movie gives you something to talk about afterwards. Which is why I decided that it was the perfect activity for a first date.
After 3 days and nights of deliberation. Wow, but it's not a bad choice.
Next, I needed to decide which movie we were going to see. Seeing as we were in 8th grade, I knew a kiddie movie was out of the question. So I decided on something with a lot of action.
Good choice. Guys love action movies. They're a great way to let go.
So we went to see a Seigen Suzuki triple feature at a revival house. They showed Tokyo Drifter, Fighting Elegy, and Branded to Kill. An excellent lineup, no?
Haven't heard of them.
You don't know Seigen Suzuki? Seigen Suzuki in his signature bravura visual style.
Nope, sorry.
The protagonist of Branded to Kill is aroused by the smell of boiled rice. You've never heard of it?
I'm going to guess I'm not alone here and that most high school kids haven't.
I had this inkling of suspicion. That might be what it was. That would explain why he disappeared partway through the movie.
Wait, he ran off before it was over? That's awful. After all that time you spent planning.
I can't blame him. Apparently he only did it because he lost a bet.
A bet?
He lost a bet with his friends, and his punishment was asking me out. Silly me, spending 3 days planning, completely oblivious to the truth. And now you've got me picking at old wounds! Curse you!
You're blaming me?
You get some kind of sick pleasure out of beating me down. At long last, the true Makoto Naegi reveals himself.
No, I
can't spend another minute around you and your deviant sexual perversions. I'll be leaving.
I'm starving. Dig it!
She attacks the food as if she's had nothing to eat for years.
I'm just reaching for the food myself when I feel the first drop of rain land on the back of my hand. Uh-oh. Looks like the weather's not going to cooperate with us after all. Emmy glares at the sky as if that alone will hold back the rain. I very nearly believe she can do it. It's one heck of a glare.
It had better cooperate! You hear me, Sky? You stop that rain right this instant!
The sky doesn't seem inclined to listen to her, despite the commanding tone she's taken with it. Instead, the rain seems to increase. Rin wrinkles her nose in distaste at this turn of events.
Regrettable.
What do you mean?
Rin shrugs, again.
I could paint this if I weren't out here. Shame to miss it is all.
She doesn't seem angry or annoyed about it, just a little disappointed. Emmy laughs in response to Rin's comment.
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It'll lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point seeing what's on the other side of the door.
There is a point! At least there is for me.
There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Clover nodded once. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I had a nice long rest. I think it's time I'm up and about again. So, Seven, you'll help me, won't you?
Me?
Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. It looked like Seven was doing them too. At last he gave up.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's how it's gonna be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
Alright, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and Seven would discover what lay beyond door 3.
But why is she so hung up about Senri?
Well, it's just as Arashima-san said. Besides it being her religion, there's another reason Shigasa Tokiko is so attached to Senri. Well, the reason is related to Shigasa Tokiko's own personal affairs.
I want you to find my father. I couldn't leave the church until I figured out where he was.
She's searching for her father.
Arashima-san's voice is tinged with disbelief. I nod and continue. Her father's name is Shigasa Michio. He was a Senri leader, the man who disappeared 2 years ago. It happened back when Senri was still called the Congregation of the Blessed. Shigasa Tokiko was the product of her father Michio and an obscure female follower. She was raised until adulthood in the congregation. Her mother, a passionate believer of Michio's teachings, forced her young daughter to adopt the teachings of the church. Isolated inside the church's facilities, without any knowledge of the outside world, Tokiko was instructed that the leader's words were absolute. Her young mind was gradually indoctrinated in the ways of the Congregation of the Blessed.
I groan. And then I slipped into a nonsensical dream world. Someone's voice rang out inside my head. I know. No. That voice. I recognize that voice. Yeah, it's... I know. My voice. I know. Everything. My goal is not to leave this place, but to remain here. What am I saying? Hope. This is all for the sake of hope. That's why I have to stay. I have to stay here.
Kid! Kid! Can you hear my voice? Kid! Answer me, kid! Please!
Who's calling my name? Such? Where is this?
Kid? Oh, you're here.
That song. That beautiful song. It was Lucas' favorite.
Kid softly smiles, closing her eyes. I can see she can't help but shed a few tears for this long-lost reminiscence.
You called out to me, Saj. You called my name. Thank you. You won't leave me, will you?
I'm here for you, kid.
It all makes so much sense now. I know who I am, Saj. I know what I'm here for. Let's go back now, okay? I'm ready.
Enough playtime! I'm taking my gloves off!
What does he mean by that? Lavix, what do you mean by that? What is he doing?
He's either gonna give us a massage or he's really gonna hurt us.
Can you nail the real me?
Oh god, there are 3 of them! And there are only 2 of us! I am guarding, because that is useful at this point.
Ah!
Oh, shit!
It's gonna sting in the morning.
What the? Ah! Okay, you're right. That hurts pretty bad.
Come on, die already!
Oh my god, they've been thrashing on us for 30 minutes straight!
I think my spine went out of alignment and then back into alignment.
Someone call my chiropractor. Tell him he's a rich man.
Can you taste the magic?
Oh, no.
I was summoned by a cow. By the time I went underground to take a look, it was already over. He had dealt with her because she had seen something she shouldn't have. And there would have been hell to pay afterward.
Is what Akao had told Chikasa Tokiko. However, she could not accept what he said, because the dismembered corpse she had seen was indescribably grotesque. If he just wanted to stop Ota from talking, he needn't have gone that far. He could have just told one of the lower-ranking faithful to take care of it. Akao was probably unable to contain himself. He saw the fallen body before him as raw material. That's why Akao was burning with such twisted passion, and why he thought the corpse before him was filled with sublime beauty. Then
Akao stood and laughed in front of her dismembered body. I think I'm going to pin this one on Fukumizu and make it another one of the omens, he said. Then he ordered me to clean up the butchered corpse.
I mean, mazes aren't so complicated. Just don't make too many turns and eventually you'll find the right path. I mean, this is just a garden hedge maze. It can't be that big, right, Mr. Bandage? He's not behind me. Well, so much for superior navigational skills.
Wait, wasn't I already here before? Oh, God. Am I going in circles? Oh, no.
Carefully, I open the envelope and draw out the folded letter from within. Dear Hisao, how are you? I hope you're well and happy at your new school.
Everyone here misses you. Almost all of our second-year class got put together in Class 3-1 for the final year, so we are pretty comfortable right now from the beginning of the year. I'm sure you would have been assigned to this class as well. The mood among the third year seems to be very anxious about the final exams, even though they are so far away. The teachers are badgering about it all the time. Even old Mr. Tachibana, who is, by the way, our homeroom teacher this year. Would you believe it? I was sure that he'd retire after our second year, but here he is, nagging everyone about studying for exams. I think things like that are the main reason why the mood among the third years is so nervous. I must admit that I'm somehow losing confidence in myself as well, even though I've always fared reasonably well in exams. It's so weird to think that we're already seniors, isn't it? Time has really flown past. I wonder where it went. The new first year seems so young and somehow really innocent. I keep wondering if I was like them in my first year. I've been feeling nostalgic like this for the whole first trimester. There are other things I want to say. I'm writing to you because I felt that there are things I should have said after the incident back in winter. I really regret that I wasn't able to say them in person, and I have no excuse for it.
Yeah, I think I've had quite enough of this.
Hey, Negs! You ever heard of Kamada? Little town in Oda, Tokyo.
I have. What about it?
Just between you and me, they're there.
What's there?
Cryptids, dude!
What are cryptids? You mean legendary creatures like Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster?
Exactly! There are cryptids in Kamada!
Such as?
Everyone's favorite skyfish! Apparently they call them rods in America. Flying creatures with rod-shaped bodies and rows of fins. They move their fins like they're doing the wave, flying far too fast to be seen by the naked eye. Some speculate skyfish might have evolved from the prehistoric Anomalakaris, while others theorize they're the result of genetic engineering by the military or government, dude. Scary stuff, dude. This is some seriously scary stuff.
So why would there be a skyfish in Tokyo, let alone a place like Kamata?
Don't know, dude, but one thing's for sure. It's nothing good. Kamata's pretty close to the Haneda airport. Our only chance is to stop it before it starts. So I'm thinking I'll give the airport a heads up. Fortunately, I happen to know how to remove skyfish. I'll just tell them, as long as they pay me, I'll get rid of every last one of them skyfish.
That's probably not a good idea. You're more likely to end up in jail. And again with the supernatural stuff, I really don't understand them.
Looking around, I suddenly see torches all around us, starting to close in.
I'll take this side.
Kid suddenly lifts her head up.
Go, Surge. Save yourself. The troopers only after Margil and me. If they find you alone, they'll let you go.
What are you talking about? I can't leave you now. Not like this.
I told ya, I'll be fine, mate.
But...
Don't worry. I remember now, Surge. Who I used to be long ago.
She says, staring up into the night sky. Seeing the reflection of 100,000 stars in her eyes, I can't help but be taken in by that lonely, one in a million expression of hers. Kid.
Don't worry. I'm okay. I'll see you again.
She says with a smile.
Someday, I know I'll see you again. Without a doubt.
She softly closes her eyes.
Lucas' chrono trigger was lost. We couldn't even get our hands on the frozen flame, but it's okay. It's all okay because tonight, in my heart, a shiny new treasure was born, Serge. The single most valuable, unstealable treasure in the entire world.
Saying this, Kid stares at me firmly with those eyes of hers. Those bold, straight, honest eyes.
Knowing who I am, it's bigger than all this. Bigger than Lynx, bigger than the frozen flame. And nothing can take that away. Not as long as I'm alive.
At this moment, listening to her under the starry night sky, I find myself wanting nothing more than to be here with her right now. Staring into her eyes, I only wish time could stop right at this instant.
Goodbye, Serge. Thank you.
And with that, Kid turns her back to me and disappears into the darkness. Kid!
Don't follow me! Please, don't follow me!
Unable to control my feelings, I start to rush after her. However, a shadow abruptly blocks my path. It's Magil. He slowly shakes his head, a sorrowful look in his eyes. With that, his shadowy figure draws back, dissolving into the darkness. Magil? Kid! Kid! Kid!